Yikes, how was that for a teaser? Welcome back to Drewster Racing. Today we are at the Louisville Criterium. This was my A race for the year. This was the race I was really structuring my training around. Pretty simple criterium, not very technical, great roads. And on the back third of the course, there's like a long climb. And I really felt like I had an advantage there. When I say climb, it's not much of a climb. It's 2.5% for a few hundred meters. And I just felt like with my power profile, this would maybe be my strength. And my goal this race was to stay near the front. I knew the pace would be hot on this climb. And I wanted to be one of the people making the pace hot, hopefully dropping riders with each lap. So yeah, that's my goal. But as you can see early in this race, there was a huge attack right from the start from the BJC team in red. They made up maybe like a fourth of the field. They had a ton of riders in this race. So right now we're chasing them down. You're going to see this groove rider in the the highlighter yellow slide in front of me, and he's going to do a lot of chasing early on along with this guy in the white, and I'm going to hop on their wheel. Both strong riders. I know this is a great spot to be, and I'm going to let them do as much work as possible to bring back that attack while also taking a few turns myself. Skipping ahead to the next lap, these four riders have been pulling off the front, still trying to reel in that early attack, and I'm feeling a little bit of guilt from the last race for not pulling, so I move to the front and I start to pull, and I find myself pulling for quite a while. We're going to fast forward here a little bit and going downhill, but I'm still pulling. We're on that climb again, 400 watts, 500 watts. I'm still pulling. And I kind of get fed up. And I tell the guys, like, hey, are we cool with racing for third place? If not, like, someone else needs to do something because this isn't going to work. I can't pull this back by myself. So one rider steps up and a little bit of a gap opens up. I was actually expecting a few more riders to slide in. Again, I've been like pulling for the last full lap. I'm hoping I'm going to get some more help. But that doesn't happen. So he's off the front, and instead of a pull, it kind of turns into more of an attack, which isn't very helpful. And I'm hoping, again, more guys are going to slide in front of me and realize that and close this gap down a little bit. And that never really happens. So I continue going down the hill, approach that right-hand turn, and then we're back on the climb. And yeah, no one really jumped in, so we're kind of all back together now. And then if you look to my left, that groove rider, he is going to attack and going to try to bridge solo. And when he does attack, I'm expecting a few more people to kind of file in behind him and I can hop on that train. But that never happens. This ends up being a solo attack, and I'm kind of the only one chasing it down, doing like 400 or 500 watts to keep up. But he's gaining on me. I'm gassed at this point. He was able to sit in like the last lap and a half or so. So he's relatively fresh, and he just keeps gaining. So he's making up ground, and no one really is jumping in. Eventually we'll get to the top of the hill, and some guys will file to the front, and we'll start chasing them down. All right, so skipping ahead a little bit, everything is back together. We've caught the attackers, and a lot of people actually have been dropped in this race. That uphill has been claiming a lot of people's day, so the field is starting to thin out. It's been a very tough race, and I've been kind of just sitting in now for the last couple laps, trying to get fresh. Skipping ahead a little bit, this is not a very technical course, but with that little climb, a lot of gaps open up. So this is not a course I want to be tail gunning on, and I find myself in that position, kind of hanging out near the back of the pack, and these massive gaps are starting to open up. So I'm putting in huge digs to regain contact with the main group. And you can see if you look ahead, I mean, this group is really strung out. There's multiple gaps between me and the front, and I'm putting in quite an effort to just stay in contact. So we're going to go downhill a little bit. The watts will drop, but once things start to level out, I have to put in a huge effort just to save my race day. So yeah, with that little climb, tail gunning is just not going to be an option, because every lap, I mean, a gap's going to open up. So if I want to be effective in this race, I really need to kind of stay near that front third of the main group. Skipping ahead slightly, I'm still putting in a huge dig. We're at like 600 watts, and yeah, I'm just struggling to get back with that main group. This long climb is absolutely killing me. and I'm definitely learning my lesson to not tail gun. Yeah, still putting in a dig. This is a long climb. It's only like 2.5%, but when you're doing it each lap or you're chasing by yourself, like it really adds up. Fortunately, like when we get to the top, it does slightly slow down going into the next turn, and I'm able to regain contact. All right, skipping ahead, we're about halfway, or maybe 2/3 the way through this race, and you might be wondering, why does the graphic say there's only 300 meters to go? Well, that's not 300 meters to go for the race. That's, well, now 250 meters to go for me, unfortunately. So we're going to go into that tight right-hander that leads into the climb. And we're going in kind of hot, 34, 33 miles an hour. Probably a little faster than we were taking it earlier in this race. And I'm coming in a little too hot. The camera doesn't show it. I've got guys on my right and just run out of room, hit the curb, and then I get to land on a nice soft pile of rocks. Fortunately, my bike was fine, aside from a few scuff marks. I did end up messing up my shoulder, but after a few days of rest, I was able to hop back on the bike. After this race, I was pretty disappointed. This again was my A race. I was kind of at my peak fitness for the year, and after crashing out, I was kind of burned out from racing, from riding, and wanted to take like a month off. But last minute decided to sign up for the Superior Morgul Road Race, and that's the Colorado State Championship for road racing. And somehow I ended up winning. That's how weird bike racing is. One week you're landing in a pile of rocks, the next week you win the Road Race State Championship. Really surprised by this win. It was a particularly hilly course, and I was getting dropped several times on a lot of the climbs, but was able to recover on the flats and the downhills. And I just put in a monster effort at the end. So, like, I want to say the last 3 minutes, I did 440 watts, and for me, that's incredible, and that was enough to take the win. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll have a few more videos coming out before the 2023 season, including a feature on my race bikes, maybe some team camp footage, and the new jerseys for 2023. So it should be pretty exciting in these next few weeks. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Later.